Thank you very much for having me. All right. Right off the bat, you might be going, wait a second, I have multiple practices to write per day and run, and a business to run. Why do I have to make her life more easier? I promise, we're not lazy. The past few years in the media, it's like playing musical chairs, only instead of music, you have increased job responsibilities, and chairs are jobs. We're doing tons of stuff. Like any given day, we're doing all these things. Reporting, blogging, posting to social, updating 3 different web pages for the desktop, the mobile, and the tablet. I had been shooting photo already. I'm doing video now. And then galleries, interactives, quizzes. And then, of course, something silly like that dress story breaks. And we have to drop whatever we're doing, like the interview we had scheduled or the thing we planned on writing that day, to write about that. All right. So in order to stand out and get our attention, I think it's important, and Chuck and Matt alluded to this, it doesn't always have to be about swimming in times. And rather than send your email out to every single reporter in town, think about your story, do a little research, figure out which reporter can best tell that particular story, and it may not be the same reporter every time. So, bad strategy, throwing a bunch of spaghetti against the wall and hoping something sticks. Target them, I think you'll get a better response. We are all about timing, as is swimming. All right, so a good way to get our initial attention and start to build a relationship is find some kind of news peg to tie your story to. So like next month, May is National Water Safety Month. So get in touch about doing a water safety demonstration. And, depending on what's going on, I think it'd be hilarious if a team, and you could do this, and have it go viral. Everyone's doing underwater videos, act out the scenes from the Best Picture nominees underwater, post it and send it to us. I mean, these kind of things are kind of ripe for that, bumper you have at the end of the news. Because it doesn't have to be a feature story, just get your information out there. All right. Important thing is when to pitch. Like, I am the entertainment editor on weekends. And for me, I start work on Tuesday, so if you send me your post on Monday, it's gonna get buried. Send it on Tuesday or Wednesday. That way, I've caught up on my email, and I'm starting to think about what I want to plan coverage for the coming weekend. All right. These are the 2 biggest rejections I get from the people I work with when it comes to covering swimming. Swimming is boring, and it's not good TV. And it's not an Olympic year, and we don't care. So you have to combat that, but make it fun. And that way, next year, when we're thinking about what to do with Olympic swimming, we'll come to you. All right. Chuck had also alluded to how to make meets more fun. And everybody remembers the meet that did something cool. Michigan did the water carnival a few years ago, which was awesome. And just a couple weeks ago at women's NCAAs, they had dancing deck officials, and that went over like crazy. And I really hope that becomes a thing, by the way. It would be awesome. All right, so other ideas you can do. Don't wait until the end of championship season to throw your coach in the pool. Have coach races. The kids will love that. And then if you've got swimming families, which a lot of teams do, get the parents and have entire families do relays against, families from other clubs. And also, there's a national day for absolutely everything. Name one, it's got a day. So pick a day, see what that's the national day for, make a relay out of it. Coconuts, muffins, I don't care. All right. So we're gonna go over how I take a pitch from just random email pitch from a publicist all the way to a story. And the media loves anniversaries. We'll peg a story to any kind of anniversary. So a few weeks ago, the publicist emailed me that the 30th anniversary of the movie The Breakfast Club was coming out. And it's a fairly standard pitch. They didn't have anything really exciting, but they talked about that they're going to do a screening of the movie in theaters. Blu-ray DVD was coming out. So I talked to the publicist, and we're like, okay, what can we do to make this more interesting than just another movie anniversary? We found a way to make it more current. Yeah, so I did a listicle, or charticle as we like to call them, on why the Breakfast Club couldn't happen today. If you want to scroll up. Right. Browser's out of control there. Anyhow, it came up with all kinds of reasons, a lot of them having to do with social media, like the scene where they all dance in the library. Well, they wouldn't all be dancing because one of them would be Instagramming it. School would be rented out on Saturdays because of budget cuts. Vice Principal Vernon would have a Saturday job. Kids would be busy trying to get their phones out of lockup. And this is one of my favorite parts. This is how they would write that essay. It would be 140 characters. Yeah. So all you have to do is find an interesting or modern take on what would otherwise be a pretty boring story. All right. So say you've gotten in touch with the reporter you want to do your story, and you've got them on board. Here are some things you can do to make things go a little smoother. A few days before the event, maybe the day before, email or call them. Make sure they're still on track. A story might have broken, and maybe they can't come. Ask them if they need anything. Also, if your coach or your kids have not spoken on camera before, practice, practice, practice. And this could be even brought into the practice the night before the meet as a game. I remember Michigan used to do, they'd have their swimmers practice winning a race, and they'd reward whoever came up with the best post-race reaction. Whip out your phone and do post-race interviews and see which kid does the best one. And they'll all compete with each other to get better on camera. All right. And I'm guilty of a few of these things myself, and I'm going to help you get ahead of the game. When you are doing an interview, wait for the reporter to finish asking the question before you answer. Even if you acknowledge, you go, that shows up on tape, and then the video editor has to cut it out. So they'll love you for staying quiet until the end of the question. And because they're not going to show the question on camera, if you can recap the question and use complete sentences, the video editor will love you. All right. And this slide is geared towards either TV coverage and it doesn't, the nice thing about the way things are going now, you don't have to save the TV coverage for a TV station. Newspapers can do this online, anybody can. So look around your pool at the time of the day that your story is supposed to take place. Which area of your pool is the sweet spot in terms of lighting, sound, and then you can take the reporter and the camera crew right to that spot, and they don't have to spend time trying to figure that out themselves. And if you're like me, a meet is actually pretty boring to watch if there's no underwater camera footage. So if you guys have a GoPro and someone who's good with it on your team, volunteer their services. And of course, the kid's gonna be psyched because their footage winds up on TV. And an important thing to ask, if the TV crew or the newspaper does want to use your footage, find out what format they need, what resolution, and how you should give it to them. And you're making everybody's life so much easier, and they'll want to work with you again because you're a professional. All right. say you've already done your story. A lot of people in the media, and I've noticed this firsthand, don't understand all the technical ins and outs. So be there to explain that to them. And if you do a good job of it, they'll remember that the next year when the Olympics roll around, and they may call you for commentary. Before they leave your pool, ask when the piece is going to run. Know that it may not always run the day they promise because of breaking news, but that way you can alert your team and post it on social media. And I would also suggest tagging the reporter and the outlet. And then once you've established your relationship with the reporter, it's really important to maintain it. You've got your foot in the door, keep it there. So email them and say you really like the story, follow them on social media. And a few months down the road, if you see another story of theirs that you like, let them know. That lets them know that you're still alive and it keeps you on their mind.